It's time to start your life the way it is meant to be. There's only one time when it will be too late, and you don't want to wait for that. This is Now or Never. The choice is yours. Your host is Karen Wright. Today you're about to meet some amazing people. The stories are not always happy ones, but they define a healing process. Listen with an open mind and an open heart. Now, here is Karen Wright.
Hello, guests. Welcome to my show, Now or Never, the choice is yours. And I appreciate you being here and making the choice and tuning in today to this wonderful show, wonderful guests that we have. I'd like to introduce you to my guest today, Laurel Harris. How are you doing?
I am so excited to be here, Karen. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Listeners, if you tuned in April to Laurel, she was on my show and I was just memorized with her. She's a wonderful, wonderful human being. And so she's giving me the opportunity to go a little bit deeper with her today with questions and her life and how excited that is for me. And so I really appreciate you being with us today, Laurel. I really do.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun. I was thrilled when you asked me to come back. Like, yay, we get to play some more.
I know. That makes me happy. Yeah. Listeners, as you know, when we start this show, I like us to get grounded. And so if you're in the place, just take a deep breath, closing your eyes, allowing that breath to enter your body completely, all the way down into your abdominals. And pressing out. Another deep breath in. And releasing. Now with your arms, give yourself a hug. Bring your hands up around your shoulders, allowing yourself to hug. And take another deep breath in. And as you do so, just give yourself a little extra squeeze. It's Wednesday. We need that extra oomph with us. And blow out. Now repeat 3 times. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. Breathing through your nose and releasing. One more. And release. And now taking your 2 fingers, tapping on your chest 3 times, repeating accept, accept, accept. And another deep breath in and releasing. Listeners, I hope you're feeling grounded, that you're in the now, you're in the moment, you're in the being as we begin the show today. As always, I love my affirmations. And Laurel, just in case you forgot, I surprise my guests with the affirmation of the day, and I invite you to share with the listeners what came to your mind when I read this affirmation. Okay?
You got it.
So the affirmation for today is, I'm willing to receive avenues of abundance. I am willing to receive avenues of abundance. It's very powerful, isn't it?
You look so peaceful just now. I could see that you were taking it in and just drinking it in.
I am, because my mind is going too. So if you could share with the listeners what came to your mind when we read that.
Oh, tears came to my eyes, not just thoughts to my mind. It never ceases to amaze me how those abundance cards and affirmation cards can just hit exactly what we need to know in the moment. For me personally, I have been working on an affirmation of expanding my level of abundance, because I've been feeling like yeah, I've been calling it abundance. Yeah, I've been recognizing where I can bring in more abundance in my life. But I also subconsciously had limits on what that could look like. I wasn't really open to just complete expansion. What would it be like if I took all of those preconceived and yet not so conscious hindrances off of my abundance? What if in any area of my life, what if I just took those off? Oh my gosh, it feels like I'm diving into the deep end, like without my floaties on my arms, that kind of feeling of just what is possible beyond our wildest dreams. So it just is really exhilarating to lean into that card and know the universe is calling us forward to do just that. Mm-hmm. To really just step into something bigger and better than we could even imagine.
And I love that. I've been taught that you never cap what you can do. So when you're asking for something, it's, I want this or more. I want this or more. Uh-huh. Because if we put like a number, like, I want to make 100,000 this year. Okay, well, the universe hears that, and that's all that's going to happen.
Right.
And so if listeners remember, when you're setting your goals, abundance is beautiful, because abundance to me is in all aspects of our life, spiritual, emotional, physical.
Yes.
With health, everything.
Everything. It really taps into our need to ask ourselves, are we worthy to receive? Are we feeling worthy? And like you said, I always add for the highest and greatest good. Because in addition to what you just said so beautifully, what if there's something more attached to my abundance, quote unquote, that's actually for somebody else that I can't even see? So there's so many different ways that could go. How can I be of service? And am I feeling worthy of receiving this? But I feel like that's changing, don't you, Karen? I feel like so many more people are becoming aware of abundance is a beautiful thing. How do we attract that for more than just our small self? Mm-hmm. I see that. I
agree. Yeah, it's totally, everything's shifting and opening up more so the last year and a half. Like, I've seen it.
Yes.
Even with the COVID and how it has been for so many of us, I see the good in it.
Absolutely.
And there is a lot of good with it. Although the loss of people that have died from it is horrific, and my heart goes out to those families who have lost loved ones. Mm-hmm. But out of everything that's not as nice as we want it to be, there's always good.
A friend of mine just reminded me today, actually, without the mud, there is no lotus. Without the mud, there is no lotus flower. Yeah. Yeah. And as the Hawaiians would say, without the rain, there is no rainbow.
Yeah, I love that.
It's always darkest before the storm. It's always going to be some sort of growth period that's in the works when it feels like it's the darkest moment.
Yes.
And that brings so much comfort. I'm curious what came up for you when you saw it, because your face was just so serene.
My face was very just calm. I was breathing it in, like you said. I love the fact, the word avenues, with a plural. Mm-hmm. To me, it's not just a one-way street. And it's only not one road. Right. There's different streets, different avenues, different ways that abundance can come to us.
Yes.
And it can be through our health. Like I said, to me, it's just not about the financial, not about the material things in life. There's more to it. Mm-hmm. And so the avenues, I was thinking, all the different avenues, there's no limit, like you said.
Yeah.
There's no limit to it. And I love that.
Because then my little tiny monkey mind can't get all wrapped up into, well, if it doesn't look like this, then it means I'm not abundant, or it's not abundance in my life. No, because there's endless possibilities.
Yeah.
Endless.
It's so true. It's amazing to me about how much the law of attraction, and we're kind of going off with this because I really feel we need to right now. The law of attraction, what you put out, you receive in. back to you. You
Yes.
put something out, and a lot of that has to do with, to me, service and gratitude. By serving others and having gratitude within your heart, being grateful for the simple things, is kind of, the universe is going to shower you
Right.
with abundance in all aspects of life.
Absolutely. And you know why? I think it's because we get out of our own way. You know, I recognize that for myself. When I'm so focused on what I resist persists. And so if I keep focusing on something, it's just going to keep me stuck in a small space. And yet, like you said, you know, when I can get out of my way and think about the bigger picture with gratitude and actually, oh my gosh, here's a concept. Think about someone other than myself and really give to them, give that energy and feel that exchange, then I'm not in my own way for more abundance to come in. Now, that's not the reason to do it. That's not the reason to go help someone because I secretly want my own stuff to come in.
Right.
But it is such a beautiful dance to learn how to do, right?
Yes, and I love the fact you bring up your dancing because, Laurel, so here's the thing.
That wasn't an intentional segue, by the way.
Laurel grew up dancing.
Yeah.
And her bio, in fact, you know what? I'm just going to read a little bit about your bio.
Okay.
Because you're a powerhouse.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go.
Okay.
Laurel Harris is an award-winning writer, producer, and actress. She, as a producer, Laurel's has received the Emmy and multiple Telly Awards and more. She's worked with many notable figures, including Nobel Peace Archbishop Desmond Tutu and His Holiness Dalai Lama, while traveling the world to film their stories alongside teams from BBC and PBS. During these adventures, Laurel developed a passion for creating media, highlighting undeserved populations under her own personal production called Laurel Leaf Productions, which we're going to talk more about this today. I'm so excited. Laurel has contributed writing to Thrive Global and Backstage Magazine and is co-author of the international best-selling book, Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity. She is also a respected voiceover artist. And her narrations in the Noble Legacy film series premiered for 2 consecutive years at the Venice International Film Festival in Italy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
She's a tree hugger.
Unabashedly.
Unabashed tree hugger. She loves nature, and adventure keeps her exploring new and familiar places. She is also a well-known, award-winning aunt to 4 fabulous nephews. So everyone give it up to Laurel Harris. Here we go.
Thank you.
Oh my heck, you're so welcome. So with the actressing, I know when we talked last time,
Yeah.
you had mentioned that you weren't always an actress, that you started out as in the dancing field. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as, I think right after I came out of the womb, I started dancing, at least according to my mother. And so I just had that fixated in my head. Yeah, I was going to be a prima ballerina with the New York City Ballet on stage. And that was it. That was my dream. In fact, it was interesting because I was recently asked to, Voyage LA came back to me and said, hey, we'd love to do a story on you. Mm-hmm. And as I was recalling some moments in my life for this interview, I was reckoning, I can talk, back to when I was a kid. I had such a vivid imagination back then. I could see myself on this stage. It was a dream that I had consistently, where I was standing on the stage at the end of a great performance and the audience was just so enthusiastic and on their feet. I could feel myself in the tutu. I could feel the roses in my hand. I could feel the sweat on my body. I could feel that spotlight on my face. It was so visceral. And I just thought, what happened to that? You know, when we're kids and we have that vivid imagination, where did that go? Because then, of course, like so many of us, you know, along the line, that really palpable dream just got dampened. And suddenly I couldn't feel it as much anymore. I couldn't see it as much anymore. But there were moments of it that really still carried with me throughout my life. And I think I feel like they were spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, coming in and planting little seeds for me to follow along the way.
And I love that you share that with us, because I think as we've been talking about the abundance, right? There's no limit or capping. And as children, we don't understand there's no limit.
Yeah.
We don't understand we can't do something.
Exactly.
And it's not until an adult says, oh, you can't do that, or your dreams are silly, then all of a sudden that seed is planted and we're like, what? We just got squashed.
Yeah, exactly.
Our little dreams just got squashed. And I know even as a parent, sometimes I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't do that. And I just think, naughty on you, Karen. Shame on you for saying that.
Right. To ourselves and to anyone else. It's up to us to catch ourselves for this next generation and say, why can't you do that?
There's no limit. That's the thing. So listeners, stay tuned with us. We'll be right back with Laurel Harris, talking more about her life, her abundance, her success, and where she's going next. Stay tuned.
The book Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, is authored by #1 international best-selling author Karen Wright. Karen's book invites readers to learn and grow through every aspect of her life. She invites all who have experienced any loss in their life to take time, read, and feel her words as she opens her soul page after page. Through each twist and turn of her journey, Karen invites her readers to heal and become the person you are truly meant to be. Find your truth, live now, and shine. Visit shinenowornever.com or look for the book on Amazon.com.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Everyone knows a realtor. A seasoned realtor, Karen Wright, has the experience and the knowledge of this crazy market. Whether you are a first-time homeowner, downsizing, or divorced, Karen understands the importance of easing the pressure for her clients. A hands-on realtor, Karen has been known to paint rooms, box up toys, bring food to her exhausted clients, and even help them find movers and cleaners to help simplify the process. She reminds her clients to take a deep breath and trust in her. For your next real estate needs, remember Karen Wright at Realty Path Summit. Visit yourbestmoveyet.net.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Welcome back, guests. We're here with Laurel Harris, and she is sharing us her journey of being an actress and the roller coaster life. We've talked a little bit about abundance and the different avenues and not limiting ourselves. And we talked a little bit about kids and their dreams and how they don't know they can't do something. And as we become adults, how sometimes we cap that or we stop those. And that's not the things we need to do. And so I appreciate Laurel's advice and her wisdom that she had. Her soul is so deep. And the first time I met Laurel, I was just like, had to her going, she is amazing what she does.
Oh, likewise.
So it's just, It's awesome. Guess you always can call in to the show. The radio show is 1-866-346-9141, or reach out to me, email me at Karen@shinenowornever.com, or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you type in Shine Now or Never, you're going to find me. So there you go. It's all a good thing. And we love it. I mean, Laurel knows that when the interaction with people listening and your questions and your concerns and your comments, that's just empowering us and helps us look outside of the box with your ideas and things. So please never be afraid to reach us. And towards the end of the show, Laurel, you're going to have an opportunity to share with our listeners how they can contact you, follow you, things like that. So listeners, stay tuned, because you're not going to want to miss her contact information, because I'm not giving it out.
You're such a tease.
I know.
I love it.
Oh, so here's the thing. As you were in the entertainment industry, I mean, I'm sure it can be like a roller coaster, right? It's
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Crazy and insane.
So much.
How do you manage the busy times and then times where you're just more, nothing's going on? You're like, what's happening here? So how do you juggle work, career, managing the stress? How does that all pertain to Laurel?
Oh, wow. I don't know that we have enough segments to really talk about this because it's such a loaded question, or a loaded answer, I should say. Yeah, this business is not for the faint of heart. I'll put it that way. It really is for, I think, I see people that succeed in this business, in my perception of success, what success looks like, as those who are really grounded in a strong mindset and a strong value system. They really take care of themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, we're all aware of those different ways of doing that. That's what I'm really passionate about, is helping younger actors to see that too. Because for me personally, it's mantras and it's meditation daily. That's what really brings me back to my center every morning and every night. I do not miss a meditation. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, if I'm really tired, it might be 30 seconds, but it's some time for me to check in and to get back to source. And whether or not I can do that naturally, or sometimes I need a little more help, with some music or some hands on my heart and my lower solar plexus, wherever it is, to really ground. I'm a big fan of putting my feet in the earth as much as possible, because that kind of brings me back. It's known to scientifically bring us back to our grounded space. All of those great ions that we share with the ocean, when we go out into the fresh ocean air or into the forest. That's just one of many ways. And also then hitting delete on areas of my life where I feel an energy suck. And really getting staunchy, stingy about, where am I not going to let my precious creative juices go out to, leak into areas in the world where I need to kind of keep them
safe,
in a stronger, safe space. Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of a rambling answer, but hopefully that.
No, it did. I think I love the fact that you talked on the meditation, the grounding yourself. I'm a firm believer in that, and you know that, and my listeners know that. And there's so much power walking barefoot out in the grass or in the dirt. Like when I hike a lot, I'm in my shoes, I'm not barefoot, but I will pick up dirt in my hands and just let it seep through. And just smelling the earth in my hands, it just brings you back into it. And I think what you're also doing consulting, so with actors, and expanding them in the industry. So when you're consulting or working with them, is there a certain age group that you're working with, or maybe not age group, but maybe levels of actors, like they're just starting in, or they've been in the industry forever, or they're old timers? And then what you do to help them expand in the industry to support, to support them in the way that they need?
Yeah, great questions. For me right now, I found that I work best with actors who are over 18. So that's where I'm at this moment. That may change in the future, but right now I'm really working with those who are 18 and over because I find that they've got the most awareness and readiness to really do the deeper inner work that I am attracted to, that's in alignment for me. And so to answer your second question, I'm more attracted to also working with actors who are maybe not totally green because they're very committed to their path and their career, and they know that they've got to be the CEO of their own business. We're all CEOs of our own business and as actors, and they're dedicated. They're ready to make it a bigger splash in their smaller market, or they're ready to make a leap to a bigger one. And I'm really passionate about those that are making that bigger leap, doing it wisely, doing it from a grounded space, doing it from a really well-rounded, informative space, because this business it's a lot of flash, it's a lot of splash, it's a lot of really glitzy, glamoury stuff. And people can get attracted to that and think that's what it's only about. And even if they know it's something more, that can still be such a bright beacon that, to go back to your original question, it being a roller coaster, I want to make sure that these people going to the next level are aware that it is a flippin' roller coaster. There is no doubt about it. It is not ever going to be anything but a roller coaster. So make sure you've got your fundamentals in place. And that's a great tool for anybody outside the industry too. But I'm a big fan of Brian Johnson and his work. And he talks a lot about what are your fundamentals? What are your fundies? Eat, move, sleep, being 3 of them, for example. So what do you do to really dial those in to make sure that you know which one is most important to you and how do you keep it strong? And then what I like to call the non-negotiables. That's another thing I really love to work with actors on, because you've got to know, in my opinion, going in before you get to a bigger level, what am I absolutely non-negotiable about? For some, it might be I don't do any nudity. For others, it might be I don't work on these kind of ads. For others, it might be I want to work with certain kind of people and I won't work with anybody that is, truly that negative in a sense, or whatever it may be. But if I see people that are going, well, I just want to work, so I'm going to do anything and everything that comes my way. Okay, I get that. I appreciate that. And yet, where's your focus? Because I've learned from experience that without focus, we can just meander and flounder and go any which way, and the breeze goes one way, and that's where we're headed. Without any true north, without any true destination or recognition of what we have to offer the world. So,
you're teaching them lifelong skills.
Yeah, exactly. And that it's not unrelated to acting.
Right.
Those seem like, again, I think there's a misperception for some that it can be about the shiny stuff and that we only have to train our instrument as actors. We have to take classes and all of that great stuff, which we do. But then where's the holistic approach? That this is so much more than just acting classes. If you want to have a long career, is my feeling.
Well, I liked what you said, like, what will you do or not do? And to me, that's also with bringing into daily life with the normal person who's not an actor or actress. What are your boundaries?
Yes.
What are you willing to put up with from people? And it's kind of the same thing that you're doing with your clients. It's like, as an actor and an actress, what are your boundaries?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you willing to go nudity? Are you willing to do, Disney shows? What is it? What direction you want to go? Because, like you said, if they don't have boundaries, there's no direction. If they have boundaries, they just created that north, like you said, that direction.
Yeah. Well, and as we know, for anybody, again, like you said, it's not just for actors, but if we've got that clarity, then guess what? That's what we tend to attract. Because the stronger we are about our North Star, or the stronger we are about our fundamentals and who we are, and resonating with that true dynamic capital S self, the more we attract that to us. And that's such a huge lesson. When I was first starting out on my spiritual path, I used to think, well, if I become more enlightened, so to speak, then I was very aware that there were people in my life that would fall away, or what would happen to those relationships. And maybe there weren't enough people at a higher level that I would actually be able to hang with. You know, it would be really lonely. It would be such a lonely existence. Well, I'm so glad that that's so far from the truth, because maybe there are, quote unquote, fewer people that are resonating at a higher vibration where I want to be. There aren't, but I'm just saying, let's say in theory let's say, for example, there are. Well, they're going to be really rich in what they have to offer and really dynamic. And I could take quality over quantity any day. So why not apply that in every area of our life?
Yeah. And I love that when that happens, when you just said sometimes your pool of people becomes smaller as the energy rises up. And your light starts shining, and people are like blinded by your light. They're like, we can't handle Laurel's light. It's too much.
I was just thinking that about you, but okay. Yeah.
But how, but like you said, that's okay. Because it's the quality of people that you're with. And as a parent, I often would tell my kids, surround yourself with the friends you want to be with, because your friends, if they're making wrong choices, you will be either labeled as that, or you're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you're going to pay the consequences for just following them and tagging along. Yeah. And then you have to deal with that. And,
absolutely. We are the result of the 5 people that we spend the most time with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, to me, I love that. You've said that before to me, and I'm like, oh, I got to write this one down.
It's so powerful, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So listeners, like, take 5 people that you admire. And that's going to be my next question to Laurel. But 5 people you admire and you enjoy hanging around, and how do they add to your life? And how do you add to their lives? What value do you bring to them? I think that's really important too, because once again, going back to your clients, what direction are you going with your life? And what is your value to add to others as you bless them by being in their life?
Right. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, who inspires you?
For years, I have had pictures of Oprah and Meryl Streep on my vision board.
I love
Diane Keaton is also on there. I also really admire Jane Fonda. And these are people that obviously for me are in the entertainment industry and are also luminaries. They're examples, they're exemplars of how to do this business, and yet also with their longevity, I think they've had great success in just anchoring themselves in who they are.
Yes.
Again, unabashedly. So the one thing that comes to mind also is, people can look at stars and celebrities and think they've got a certain opinion about who they are and what they are and everything about them. We don't know that. We never know that. The press can always pull a story one way or the other. And I learned that kind of the hard way once. And so I always am passionate about saying, don't have such a well-rounded opinion about somebody until you really have walked a mile in their shoes, right? Or gotten to know them. So to go back to your original question, then I think it's really important for us. And this is not just celebrities. I'm talking about this because it's my business, but for anyone, if we put someone on a pedestal, or even if it's just somebody that we just really respect and admire, they're having a human experience. They're not going to be perfect in every single way in our perception. But what is it about them? What's their essence that we want to emulate? That's what we want to work towards, the essence of that person. That's what I want to continue to work towards in my life and say, I want to be like that essence that I see in that person.
That's very powerful too. Looking at the essence of a person. To me, integrity plays hand in hand with people and their integrity.
Yes.
Listeners, as we go into our next break, I want you to do me a favor, a little homework assignment. 5 people in your life that you want to surround yourself with. 5 people that they have that integrity, that essence that you want to surround yourself with. And what value do you bring to them? We'll be right back with Laurel Harris.
Everyone knows a realtor. A seasoned realtor, Karen Wright, has the experience and the knowledge of this crazy market. Whether you are a first-time homeowner, downsizing, or divorced, Karen understands the importance of easing the pressure for her clients. A hands-on realtor, Karen has been known to paint rooms, box up toys, bring food to her exhausted clients, and even help them find movers and cleaners to help simplify the process. She reminds her clients to take a deep breath and trust in her. For your next real estate needs, remember Karen Wright at Realty Path Summit. Visit yourbestmoveyet.net.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
The book Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, is authored by #1 international best-selling author Karen Wright. Karen's book invites readers to learn and grow through every aspect of her life. She invites all who have experienced any loss in their life to take time, read, and feel her words as she opens her soul page after page. Through each twist and turn of her journey, Karen invites her readers to heal and become the person you are truly meant to be. Find your truth, live now, and shine. Visit shinenowornever.com or look for the book on Amazon.com.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Welcome back, guests. You are listening to Now or Never, The Choice is Yours with Laurel Harris. And if you're listening before our break, did you get your homework assignment done? Did you write down 5 people you want to surround yourself with? People with integrity, with essence, people that inspire you to be the best person. And then, how do you inspire others? What is your gem? What lights you up? And how do you share that with people around you? Laurel has been with us today, and she is the most authentic, pure, knowledgeable, beautiful person I've been around with. And I love her. And she brings me insight. And during the break, we talked about what she says is simple, but it's hard. But at the end of the road, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've had experiences like that too, where you think, looking back, wow, I'm really glad I up-leveled that part of my life. Mm-hmm. Could you even go back and do it the same way twice? No.
Would you want to?
Right. There's all the motivation we need.
Right there. You're like, people say, would you ever want to go back in time and like redo what redo your life and this and that? And I'm like going, not really. I mean, even with the knowledge I know now, go back to the time I was 20, would I have progressed as far as I have at this age?
Right.
If at 20 I knew everything I do now.
Yeah. Or
would I have just been like nonchalant? I know everything.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. This too will end.
Exactly. because we know the riches on the other side that we've experienced. And that's such a great analogy too, I think, for us globally right now. You know, that's what I also want to share with folks, you know, as they get, at times I hear people get really discouraged or really down in the mouth about certain things going on with the world, especially after last year of 2020. And I think, yeah, but didn't you ever go through something really challenging in your life and get to the other side of it and think, wow, oh my gosh, I learned so much. So glad I went through that because now I have this information. Yeah, we're just doing it together right now.
Yeah, and I think as we're doing this, we're bringing the whole world together. All us people are humans together because we're all experiencing it. It's not just happening to a certain continent, a certain culture, anything like that. It's global. How powering is that?
Right. And it's not happening to us. It's happening for us. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
We're giving each other high fives from afar.
It's totally, and I love that. Explain that maybe to the listeners, why you feel that way.
To us and not, or for us, yeah.
For us, not to us.
Well, it's exactly what we just said. You know, it's all for our enlightenment. It's all for our empowerment. It's all for us to get to a space of brevity, of lightness, of looking at all of this with less of a pointed finger wagging, you know, less victimhood, more of a sense of, oh, I'm a better human being, BE/ING. Yeah. On this planet now, because I went through that experience and look how we all rose together. Look at what we experienced as a result. More love, more of us wanting to really spend time with loved ones and really cherish those relationships. More of us taking time to take in a sunset. More of us wanting to be in nature. More of us wanting to be at home with our families. Or, you know, some maybe not, but then you recognize, where do I need space? Where do I need time to take care of myself more?
And I agree with that. Spending time with family, loved ones, going out to nature, and then going within ourselves. There's been a lot of soul searching happening within individuals where they're asking important, deep questions. What do I really want? Where's my next dream? What are my dreams? Like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And figuring out a way to do it. Because we're not so busy hustling around.
Right.
There's downtime.
Yeah.
And you can really ponder.
Yeah, and getting clear with the bigger picture means getting clear with releasing what doesn't matter. So, for example, I've had a couple of people in my life very recently who have transitioned, who have died, and it just continually brings me back to a space of what really matters. Because this life, this traveling journey that we're all on is so delicate. The other side is so close, and the veil is so thin. So what do we really want to put our energy into on this side? What do we want to plug into? Where do we want to be an example, and how?
I appreciate that, and how dear life really is, how precious life is. Because in a matter of, snap of the finger, you could be taken off and moved forward to the next realm or whatever your beliefs are.
Yeah.
And I always, my whole theme, now or never, now we're living now. And I've dealt with loss in my life with my daughter and my mom and dad, my brother, and seeing my friends fight through cancer and them going through things and COVID, all of this loss. And as we look at it on our side, with the ones left behind, to us, we feel that grief and that sorrow. And I really believe that they're on their side where they're at, going, oh my gosh, hurry up and get over here. This is like, get over here. You're going to be so disappointed you lasted that long there. I just feel that energy is like so that love and that the sparkles and the glitter, just that beautiful, unique, but that white, just, oh, there. I don't know if you saw this movie. I'm kind of sidetracking for a second, but the image of In the Shack.
Yes.
When they're out walking, he's out walking with God and the Holy Spirit, and they remove the veil off his eyes, and he sees the energy around the plants, the animals, and then the spirits walking towards him. I visualize that, and it just gets me so excited because in my mindset, I'm like, I can see that here. I can look outside, and if we really just want to remove the veil and just say, okay, let me see that. Yeah. Why not? Why can't we ask for it, right? Why do we have to wait?
And how about stopping when we do see it and just taking it in?
Yes.
And
taking enjoying
a deep breath. Yeah. Because you're right.
The empowerment of doing that.
Yeah. I totally agree, Karen. And I also would add that I think on the other side, they're giving us so many props and high fives because they understand what it takes to go through this journey as a human being. And so they're on the other side going, yeah, just keep rocking it. Just keep going.
Yeah, they see the bigger picture.
Sure.
It was interesting. I worked with an energy lady that connected with my daughter, and I believe in this and what she said. And when she connected with my daughter, I asked her a question, and it doesn't matter the question, but the answer was this. She said, Mom, I see things now differently, and I understand why things happened the way they did. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wow, if we as humans here on earth can just open up our box, get rid of the blinders, being able to see as much as a full picture as we can.
Right.
Perspective of life could be a little bit different, don't you think?
I think your dog agrees. I can hear him in the background. The animals are tuned in such a strong way. Yeah, I love that, Karen. I think for years, my mother used to talk about it with me as helicoptering. And I have a girlfriend, and we always talk about it that way too. So whenever we get too intense in a situation and too myoscopic, we can't see past the little blinders that we've put on ourselves, maybe unknowingly, then we'll say to each other, get in that helicopter and get in that helicopter. Because what it means is you've got to go within your own mind and put yourself in a little helicopter and rise way up above the situation and look out over the whole thing with a whole new perspective. Because isn't that how it works? I mean, if any of us, and I'm sure most of us have gotten in an airplane before, the higher you go, the smaller everything gets on the ground. Mm-hmm. We get a whole new perspective up above the clouds. So it's really powerful. It's such a great way. It's a really fast way to kind of bring us into that moment of, wait a minute, what really matters?
I agree with you. And my dog is agreeing too, as I put the ball up, trying to help her not. And she opened my door. So listeners, please forget about the dog. She's talking to us all, and she agrees.
She's
there
agreed.
We have it.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah. Here's a question for you, Laurel. What do you do to quiet or tame your fears? Because we all have fear of some sort.
Yeah.
What's your secret?
You know what? I will be really honest with you and say, I don't think I ever quiet them. That's what I've learned. For years I used to fight with it and think, I need to wrestle this to the ground and be in charge and take over my fear. And now I know it's more about, okay, let's dance. We're going to dance through this. And here's the thing. I am going to lead this dance. You might think you do fear. You might think you do ego. And you can have a say-so in this. You can tell me that you want to do the tango or you want to do the cha-cha or whatever it is. But eventually, I will listen to you. But eventually, I'm going to tell you to go sit down and shut up. And I am leading this dance. Thank you. So I'll take the information, but that's it.
I think that's very powerful.
Yeah.
You can take it, but at the end of the day, you get to decide, right?
Right.
Subconsciously, put the ego behind you.
Yeah. Because it's here to serve a purpose. It's not ever supposed to be one and done and gone. It's here to continue on this journey with us for lots of reasons. And the ego does give us great gifts, but we don't want it running the show because that's too dangerous most of the time. So, yeah.
I think it is very dangerous. And there's sometimes where we get stuck into listening it and it takes over. And that's where a lot of things can happen, where we get in those dark shadows and those dark places. And then it's like, where's my light? What happened? What's the next thing?
Exactly.
And so I think that's really important. So one last question before we have to end this show already.
Oh, okay.
But, the word yes, Y-E-S, yes.
Yes.
Is that important to you?
Oh my gosh. Hugely important. For anybody who's an improv artist or knows anything about improv, that's the number one word, right? Mm-hmm. We always say yes in improv, because the idea being that if we're in a scene together and I give you something, I toss you an idea or something in the middle of a scene, and you say no, we have nowhere to go, because then it just becomes a struggle of who's right and what do they have to say and which direction do they want to take it. Mm-hmm. So in improv, it's always yes and. That's what we say, yes and. So when you offer me something, even though I have no idea what it means or where I'm going to go with this, I say yes and then we continue to go, because then that automatically gives us something to build on, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really powerful when I learned when I woke up one day and had this, like you said, very simple realization, oh, I'm not yes-anding my own life. I'm really trying to control all of this. I'm really trying to steer it in the direction I want to go. Well, the universe is giving me this, and I'm saying, no, thanks. I want to go this way. I don't want to go left. I want to go right. Now I'm learning how to say, yes, universe, I don't have any idea what that's about. I don't get it, but yes. And how do you want me to do that? Let's go.
I love that. So listeners, say yes. Mm-hmm. Listen to what Laurel has said today. Go back and re-listen to this video or this recording, because there's a lot of powerful things, suggestions, advice in this. Laurel, before we close, will you share with the audience, our listeners, how they can get a hold of you, follow you, things like that? They want to reach out to you.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I have two websites. One is my personal acting website, which people can go to if they'd like, which is just laurelharris.com. My production company is Laurel Leaf Productions. So Laurel and then LEAF productions.com. They can also reach out to me via email, which is laurelharris.actor@gmail.com if they want to learn more about the consulting work I do. And then I'm on all social platforms. Just Google Laurel Harris, and often I'm Laurel Harris Actor.
Okay, so Laurel Harris Actor.
Yeah.
Listeners, remember our affirmation for today. I am willing to receive avenues of abundance. There is no cap. There is no limit. And remember that the breath is a gift of life. Choose now and live. This world is not for sissies. We are here to experience our own story as we each walk our personal journeys. Have an amazing day, and thank you for choosing to be here now with us. Until next week, sending you love and light, this is Karen.
Thank you for sharing your time with us. Now or Never, The Choice is Yours can be heard live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. We hope you'll join us again soon.